Hi, here is your pre-lab for the soil lab. So take a moment to watch this with me. This is a 2-day lab. The first thing you're going to do is go ahead and set up, you can see this overview where I'm telling you that we're going to prepare our soil and set up 2 tennis ball cans the first day. And there are a couple of data pieces that you'll have to collect during that time, but most of the collection will be on day 2. The second day, we're going to come back and collect most of the measurements, so we'll go forward with that. First thing you need to do is to set up a data table. So take a page in your journal, start a new page, and put this following information in for yourself. Put it in neatly where you have room to write. Here's the first page and the second page. So those all go on the same page of your journal. They just wouldn't fit on the PowerPoint. Next, if you will, when you get to the lab, your group, you'll be working with a table. So it'll be all the people at your table, a maximum of 4 people, maybe 5. So you're going to pick a soil sample, make sure that you record that in your journal, and also take a picture of it. It's never a bad idea just to know which one you have. Once you get your soil sample, you have to prep it, which means that you need to use the screens over a lunch tray and remove all of the trunks of any kind of rocks or grass, anything you can see like that. So we just want smaller pieces of soil. One of the problems with this lab is trying to keep your lab area clean. And so actually, if you happen to have a dry cleaner bag at home, if your family has one, bring it with you and we'll be able to cover the table and it'll save us a lot of cleaning time. Next on the list is to follow the instructions in your blue lab manuals or online, and it will tell you how to actually do the test that we're doing today. So you've got the soil texture to set up. There'll be 2 tennis ball cans. Once you get going, you're going to start with measuring the height of the mud as you get it moist. I feel like I've skipped a couple slides. Let me go back. Nope, guess not. Then next on the list, it's going to tell you at one point to go ahead and to mix the solution after you've added all the water. Be sure that you actually rock the tennis ball can completely upside down. Let me show you. So we're going to rock it completely over a sink until you get it well mixed, because it must be well mixed or you won't get accurate results. So the test that we will be doing is the soil texture. We're going to do it both by settling and also by feel with your fingers, so you'll get to play with the dirt. Then we're going to test several chemical tests, the soil pH, the nitrogen, potassium, and the phosphorus. You will do a lab report. It's pretty simple for the first part. You're just interpreting your results. And then you'll be given a case study that you will work on after the exam, or a little bit during, it's not due till after the exam, and you'll make an actual PowerPoint and present that. All right, so here's showing you how to measure. If you've got it all mixed up, the first thing it tells you is to measure the sand after it's settled for 1 minute. This is for the soil texture. Notice that right here, this is where that sand comes. This sample has a lot of sand. And so that's going to be that measure. That'll be important. Timing is really important on this. If you screw it up, remix it. It's not a problem. Notice also that the organic matter is floating on the top. And if you can, have someone from your lab group come back and measure it right after school. It's somewhere between 2 and 6 hours is when the silt settles, and it'll be so much better when you're trying to interpret your results if you have a silt reading as well as the clay reading that you get after 24 hours. So soil is a mixture not only of minerals, which we're looking at sand, silt, and clay, but also air and water as well as organic matter. So this is the kind of stuff we're looking at, and that's why I have you observe your soil before you actually work with it. So the soil textures are here. You can see the 3 sizes, sand, silt, and clay. Figure out which one's biggest and smallest. Sand is the biggest. And you will actually use a soil texture triangle to determine what type of soil you have. You can see you might have clay or sandy loam. Loam is typically the most desirable. It's a mix of all 3 components. And I have a video posted on the calendar that you can watch to figure out how to use this, and I would refer to that when you're working with it. All right, second day. You had a second tennis ball can that you put together that was going to hold a set amount of soil and you've mixed it up with water and let it settle. And this is going to give you a supernatant. So that's going to be a solution that's on top without the particles. And that's what we're going to use for most of the tests. You'll need to read the instructions because some of them are a little bit different. So the instructions are posted on the fold out on the interior of this, as well as online. And you can follow each one. All of the tests are comparators. So we're going to be looking at comparing reference colors as we go through it. And here's our test chamber. You've got, for example, this is the potash test, which is potassium. And you can see that there are two chambers that you're going to pour liquid into, liquid whatever is assigned. The first one is the test chamber. That's the one that has the capsule that goes into it. And the second chamber is just the liquid alone because it's going to have that color match that you need. The really cool thing is you'll be using tablets on this, and each tablet matches the color of the lid. So it's pretty easy to get it. The key thing on a tablet is that you twist the tablet carefully over a paper towel because it's a little bit hard to get it out without dropping it. So you want to kind of play with that a minute to experiment so you don't lose as much of it as you can, and then go ahead and pour it into your test chamber. So the paper towel that has a fold in it is an easy way to make sure you don't lose it. All right, well, that's it. You've got 2 days to accomplish this. There is no extra time. So make sure that you and your group kind of divide up the tasks and focus and have fun.